Keith Ramsay, the boy from the Alyth manse in Perthshire, who made a name for himself as a shipping agent in Dunedin and became the city's youngest ever mayor.
Keith Ramsay was born here in Alyth in Perthshire in 1844, the youngest son of the 11 children of the Reverend William Ramsay and his wife Mary McNichol. His father had been a much respected minister here at Alyth for 29 years when he died after a short illness when Keith was just 2 years old. His grandfather had been a Presbyterian minister too, and in fact 3 of Keith's brothers would also become ministers, one of them taking over from their father at Alyth. His maternal grandfather, on the other hand, was a factor for the Earl of Elliot, and this sort of respectable background gave Keith some real advantages in life, one being a good education at Blair Gowrie here. But on the other hand, his prospects were also limited by being the youngest in such a large family, especially once his mother was widowed. To make his way in the world, Keith became a clerk at the office of one of the major companies in central Dundee here, Edward Baxter & Sons. Now at that time, Dundee was a world-leading manufacturer of linen and jute, and Baxter & Company organised the export of these textile products to markets all around the world. Dundee was a smoky, crowded industrial city, very different from the idyllic village where Keith had been born. Was that perhaps why he came to Otago?
Frankly, like most of our immigrants, we simply don't know the specifics of his motivation. What we do know is that Keith left Scotland soon after his 18th birthday, paying for a first-class passage to Otago on the immigrant ship Jura from Glasgow. He began work with local shipping agents Cargill & Co., then moved to their competitors Dalrymple & Co. Within 3 years, however, he was confident enough to start his own shipping agency.
That sounds pretty brash for a 21-year-old, but perhaps he had some help from home. Many colonial Scottish entrepreneurs had financial assistance from family and other such networks. But whether supported or not, Keith Ramsay made a great success of his enterprise, and it flourished.
In fact, his business would endure through 3 generations and trade for over a century until 1978. It acted as agent for many small vessels trading along the southern coast, as well as trading vessels bringing cargo from overseas. Keith Ramsay was highly respected for his knowledge of shipping matters and was active in maritime and community organisations.
They included the Otago Harbour Board and the Dunedin City Council. Elected to the council in 1872, he became mayor 2 years later. At the age of just 30, he was Dunedin's youngest ever mayor, a record he retains to this day.
Keith Ramsay had a finger in many pies. He was one of those movers and shakers in business circles at a time when Dunedin was New Zealand's leading commercial centre and its major import-export entrepot. As well as a shipping interest, which included ownership or stakes in a number of coastal vessels, he was a director in numerous major companies, including the New Zealand Insurance Company, the Westport Coal Company, the Perpetual Trustees, the Dunedin Stock Exchange, and the Dunedin Savings Bank.
But he also remained a loyal son of the manse, an elder or deacon at First Church for over 30 years, and always happy to contribute his business acumen for the good of the church or the wider community. In 1871, he'd married Janet Torrey Douglas, and they enjoyed a happy married life together, bringing up a large family of 3 sons and 6 daughters in this lovely home in Royal Terrace, which he called Alyth, after his birthplace. Keith Ramsay wasn't the wealthiest businessman in colonial Dunedin, nor its most influential citizen, except perhaps during his tenure as mayor, but he exemplifies a certain type of Scottish immigrant, the young man from a respectable background who brings to the colony a huge number of advantages, but has to work hard and act with integrity to achieve the level of success that he did. It was not perhaps so great a journey from the old manse at Alyth to the mansion of the same name in Dunedin's Royal Terrace, but Keith Ramsay earned respect along the way as someone who always acted with probity, integrity, and goodwill.
Described as a man with a sunny disposition, Keith had taken all those advantages from home and made a good life for himself and his family in Otago. He died in Dunedin in 1906, aged 62.